it's Kathy Cassidy. I'm going to read you another chapter of Love from Lexie. It's quite a short chapter today, which is great. I hope you're all handling the lockdown thing okay. I'm sitting just next to my calendar for April, which is right here. And I don't know if you can see, but it is completely empty. Normally there would be loads of things like school visits and all sorts of meetings and bits and bobs to do and deadlines, and it's kind of empty, and that's the way it is for all of us, which is quite strange. So that was where the idea of reading chapters every day from this story came in, because maybe for those of you who want a little bit of escapism. So hi to all of you who are still watching and listening in. Readers old and new, young and old, really doesn't matter. A bit of escapism is brilliant for us all. So if you remember from last time, Lexie and some of her friends were checking out the big old house Greystones in the hope that they could find a practice space there. And this is what happens in chapter 16. It's called Off the Rails. I can't believe my eyes. This is it, Jake is saying. It's quite big and nobody uses it. Sheesh, Jake, Bex exclaims, breaking the silence. This I did not expect. On the other side of the trees, beyond the house, there is a wild, overgrown corner of the garden with a strange, narrow, elongated shed shunted up against the wall. The shed is made of maroon and cream metal sheeting with varnished wooden struts and a weirdly curving roof. It seems to be raised a few feet off the ground, and two sets of handmade wooden steps lead up to the side doors at either end. My eyes struggle to make sense of it. Oh, my, I breathe. It's an actual train. We are looking up at an ancient railway carriage, the kind you might see in an old Agatha Christie movie, Murder on the Orient Express maybe. The carriage is huge, and though it's grimy from who knows how many winters of rain and snow, there's a little rust speckled across the maroon metal sheeting. It still looks elegant. Some kind of climbing plant is clinging to the side and sneaking its way in and out of a cracked window and up towards the roof. It's epic, Jake, I say. I love it. Everyone is talking at once then, asking if we can look inside, if we could seriously use it as a practice space, how it even got here in the first place. Jake reminds us the disused railway track runs alongside the grounds. Apparently when that line was closed back in the 1960s and lots of old rolling stock was scrapped and sold off, Louisa Winter's father bought the old railway carriage and had it hauled into the gardens of Greystones. He had the inside converted so his daughter could use it as a base when she was home from New York or London or Paris, so her wild child partying wouldn't bother anyone up at the big house. Rescuing a railway carriage, that is pretty amazing. I tried to picture the scene. A waif-like model in an A-line mini-dress leaning out of the railway carriage window to greet her arty, poetic, pop star friends when they came to stay. Jake bounds up the steps and unlocks the door, and we crowd behind him, eager to see inside. The carriage is dark and musty, the windows grey with dust and veiled with spider's web, but we can see what an incredible place it is. We step out of the little hallway and into a long room lined with built-in red velvet sofas faded to a dusty pink, a kitchenette kitted out with a tiny pink electric cooker and a matching sink. Jake picks up a 1960s copy of Vogue from the coffee table, opening it to a glossy spread featuring a long-limbed girl with huge coal-rimmed eyes, her long fox-red curls flying out behind her as she rides an old-fashioned bicycle through a rose garden. Another shot shows her feeding swans on a lake, and in another she sits on the steps of a bandstand eating an ice cream cone, while an old-fashioned brass band in military uniform play behind her. This was photographed in the park, Bex observes, peering over my shoulder. Our park. It looked a lot posher then, didn't it? Is this Louisa Winter? Jake nods. She was 17 in those shots, I think, he tells us. She's an old lady now, but she's still a force of nature. I run a finger down a wall of black and white photographs, thick with dust, stuck to one of the gently curving walls. There are lots of shots of doe-eyed girls with boyish pixie cuts and boys in striped tops and donkey jackets with long hair and round mirrored shades. Are they once famous faces from long ago? Friends from Louisa's modelling days? I'd love to know their stories. Wow, Happy says in a small voice. What do you think, Lexie? Awesome, I breathe. There's more than enough room for us and our equipment. It's perfect. Is there electricity? Bex is asking, flicking an old Bakelite switch up and down uselessly. Jake says that Sheddy, his stepdad, knows all about electrics and could definitely sort something out. I love it, I say. It's a time capsule. Apart from the decades worth of dust, it's just as if 17-year-old Louisa just walked out moments ago. I reach into my pocket for my mobile, then let it go again. This is too personal, too private for Instagram or Facebook. I wander along to the end of the living area and sneak a look through the door into the bedroom, the part of the railway carriage Jake's mum wants to use as a consultation room. It has the same untouched look as the main living space, but there's something else, something I can't put my finger on. The purple op art coverlet is still smoothed across the double bed, a fun fur rug beside it. A clothes rail still holds a tiny green tartan mini dress and an embroidered muslin smock that floats out a little in the draught from the door. It looks perfect, except that the dressing table mirror is badly smashed. The sight of it is shocking, as though someone has thrown a brick or a boot or a piece of furniture at the glass in a fit of anger that somehow lingers on. Under the dust, ugly zigzags radiate out from a central point, but although big chunks of glass are missing from the mirror, there are no jagged shards, no sharp, bright glint of powdered glass among the bottles of vintage nail polish, the perfume bottle with its little woven diffuser, the muddle of eye pencils and pastel eyeshadows. The mess was cleared away years ago, but a faint aura of violence still hangs in the air. I feel strangely upset, shaky, but I'm drawn to the dressing table all the same. I open and close a few empty drawers, and in the last drawer I find a green fringed shawl and a book of Buddhist meditations. I shiver a little as I touch the embroidered wool and flick through the little book. Without warning, I'm thinking of my mum again. Emotions piling up so strongly I can scarcely breathe. Something sad happened here, something scary. I can feel it, sense it, like a knot of barbed wire in my belly. It's as if I can see beyond the shadows, behind the cobwebs and into the past. The images are hazy, but there's a man and a woman, and the man is angry. I can hear shouting, pleading, crying, shattered glass. I just don't understand why it all feels so personal. And again, I'm going to show you the filler between the chapters at the end rather than the beginning of tomorrow's. It's a piece of shattered glass, and on the mirror, Lexie has traced with a finger, "Mum, where are you? What happened?" Okay, so hopefully I will see you again tomorrow for chapter 17, and we'll find out whether the kids are allowed to use the old railway carriage to be their practice space. So until then, chin up, keep on keeping on, we can do this, and I'll see you tomorrow for your daily dose of escapism. See you.